Ever since 3I Atlas was detected cutting through our solar system, a familiar pattern has returned. Social media threads exploded, comment sections filled with speculation. Headlines quietly nudged the word alien closer and closer to the story. To many people, the logic feels simple. It came from outside our solar system. It doesn't behave exactly like what we're used to. Therefore, maybe it's not natural at all. Maybe it's technology. Maybe it's something sent. That idea is dramatic, seductive, and wrong far more often than it is right. But it raises an important question that serious scientists actually do take seriously, just not in the way the internet does. What would it really take to prove that 3I Atlas is alien technology, rather than a strange but natural interstellar object? The first thing to understand is that calling something alien tech is not a casual claim in science. It is an extraordinary claim, and extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Not interesting evidence, not confusing evidence, not behavior we don't immediately understand. Proof. That bar is so high that most scientists assume natural explanations until those explanations completely fail. This is not because scientists are afraid of aliens. It is because nature has a long history of looking weird before it makes sense. Interstellar objects already break many of our assumptions. They are formed around other stars, ejected by gravitational chaos, and exposed to cosmic radiation for millions or billions of years. By the time they reach us, they are nothing like the comets and asteroids we grew up studying. They can be dry when they should be icy. They can be dark when they should be reflective. They can accelerate in ways we don't expect. All of that can happen without any intelligence involved. So what would cross the line? What would turn 3I Atlas from a curiosity into something far more serious? The first and most important sign would be non-natural acceleration that cannot be explained by known physics. Objects in space move according to gravity unless something pushes them. That push can come from outgassing, where trapped gases vent unevenly. It can come from radiation pressure, where sunlight exerts a tiny force. These effects are subtle, but they are measurable. If 3I Atlas were to change its trajectory in a way that does not match any known natural mechanism, that would raise immediate alarms. Not because it proves intelligence, but because it eliminates physics we understand. However, even unexplained acceleration is not enough on its own. We have been here before. When Oumuamua showed strange acceleration without a visible tail, some researchers proposed exotic natural explanations like hydrogen ice or nitrogen-rich surfaces. Those ideas were debated, refined, and tested. None required aliens. For 3I Atlas, acceleration would need to be directional, controlled, and sustained in a way that aligns with no passive process. Random pushes are noise. Controlled motion is something else entirely. The second potential indicator would be artificial geometry. Nature can make strange shapes, but it has limits. Asteroids are lumpy. Comets are irregular. Even highly elongated bodies still show roughness and randomness. If 3I Atlas were found to have precise geometric features, flat surfaces, sharp edges, or repeating patterns at multiple scales, that would be deeply suspicious, especially if those features were stable and symmetrical. Geometry alone would not prove technology, but it would demand an explanation that goes far beyond geology. Closely tied to shape is rotation. Natural objects tumble based on collisions and internal structure. Artificial objects rotate in controlled or stabilized ways. If telescopes detected a rotation pattern that remained perfectly stable despite gravitational interactions or adjusted itself over time, that would be extremely difficult to explain naturally. A changing rotation rate, especially one that appears responsive rather than chaotic, would be a red flag no one could ignore. Another major test is composition. Natural objects have messy chemistry. They are mixtures of ice, rock, metals, and organics formed under chaotic conditions. Artificial objects tend to be made of refined materials, alloys, or composites that do not form spontaneously in space. If spectroscopy revealed materials that cannot be produced by known astrophysical processes, that would be explosive. This does not mean rare. Space makes rare things all the time. It means impossible under natural conditions. Materials that require controlled environments, precise temperatures, or layered manufacturing would cross a line that no natural explanation could step back over.
Thermal behavior is another critical factor. Natural objects heat and cool according to predictable rules. Their temperatures change smoothly as they move closer to or farther from the sun. If the 3-eye atlas showed internal heat generation, uneven thermal patterns unrelated to sunlight, or temperature stability that defied radiative physics, that would be extremely hard to dismiss. Waste heat, in particular, is a classic signature of technology. Every machine produces it. Nature does too, but not in organized, localized, or persistent ways that resemble internal power systems. Then there is radio emission. This is where public imagination tends to run wild, but science remains precise. Random radio noise means nothing. Space is full of it. Even narrow-band emissions can occur naturally in certain environments. What would matter is structure, repeating signals, modulation, patterns that carry information rather than energy. If 3-eye atlas emitted radio signals that were narrow, persistent, directional, and encoded in a way that could not be explained by known astrophysical sources, the conversation would instantly change. Not slowly, instantly. Even then, scientists would attempt every possible natural explanation first. Plasma interactions, magnetic effects, unknown molecular transitions. Only after those failed would intelligence be seriously considered. This process is not skepticism for its own sake. It is how science protects itself from self-deception. Another powerful indicator would be trajectory intent. Natural interstellar objects pass through randomly. They do not slow down to observe planets. They do not adjust course to skim habitable zones. They do not align with orbital planes for convenience. If 3-eye atlas showed evidence of deliberate navigation, such as course corrections that brought it closer to Earth or other planets in a non-random way, that would be extraordinarily difficult to explain as chance. The odds of a natural object threading such paths intentionally are astronomically low. But intent is the hardest thing to prove. Humans are very good at seeing patterns where none exist. A single coincidence means nothing. A sequence of improbable maneuvers begins to mean something else. There is also timing. Natural objects do not care when we develop telescopes. If an interstellar object arrived exactly during a narrow window of technological capability, some would call that suspicious. Scientists would call it coincidence, unless other evidence supported the idea. Timing alone proves nothing, but combined with other factors, it adds context. What will not prove alien technology is unfamiliarity. The phrase, "we've never seen this before," is not proof of anything beyond limited experience. Every new class of object starts that way. Pulsars were once considered possible signals from extraterrestrial intelligence because their pulses were so regular. They were nicknamed little green men for a reason. They turned out to be neutron stars. Nature embarrassed us again. That history weighs heavily on how scientists approach 3-eye atlas. No one wants to repeat that mistake, not by dismissing the unknown, but by naming it too quickly. Right now, 3-eye atlas fits comfortably within the category of strange but natural. It is faint. It appears inert. Its motion is consistent with gravitational expectations so far. Its light curve suggests an irregular body, not a manufactured one. Its spectrum looks like processed natural material, not engineered surfaces. None of this is surprising. Interstellar space is harsh. It strips objects down, erodes them, and leaves behind survivors that already defy our intuition. The reason the alien tech narrative persists is not because the evidence supports it, but because the idea is emotionally powerful. It speaks to curiosity, fear, and hope all at once. It turns a distant object into a story about us. Are we alone? Are we being watched? Are we late to the party? These questions are ancient. 3-eye atlas simply gives them a new look.
Thanks
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through the cosmos, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell. And when you're ready for your next space mystery, click the video right here.